Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, and welcome to our witnesses. I want to join Chairman Palazzo in congratulating NASA, Lockheed, United Launch Alliance, and the entire government and contractor team on successfully conducting the exploration flight test, EFT-1, of the Orion capsule last week. I think it was truly exciting, and I know that around the country and around the world, there were many of us looking on television for the first time in a long time at a U.S. space program that really is very forward-looking. The flight subjected Orion and its systems to the rigors of outer space beyond low Earth orbit to test key systems, verify the Orion design, reduce technical risks, and test recoverability operations. Mr. Chairman, I believe that this test flight shows Americans that tangible progress is in fact being made on returning humans to exploration beyond our Earth's neighborhood, and a goal that this committee and the Congress as a whole have embraced through multiple NASA authorization acts, despite some of the challenges that the Chairman laid out. I would also note that I think we were in this hearing room just 3 years ago wondering whether Orion was really going to be possible or not, and I think that we have addressed that question in what is a remarkably short period of time. And so while I look forward to looking at the challenges and taking on some of those challenges, I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that we have great capacity and that the American people can get greatly excited by that, and I think then lead those of us who are the policymakers to do the right thing when it comes to robustly funding our exploration program. The development of the Space Launch System, SLS, and the Orion crew vehicle are necessary next steps in reaching our goals for human space exploration, including the long-term goal of sending humans to the surface of Mars, as stated in our bipartisan House-passed NASA Authorization Act of 2014. And so I also thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing so we can obtain an update on the status of the SLS and Orion programs. And it was indeed just those 3 years ago that we sat in this room and we were pressing NASA for a decision on a final design of the SLS rocket. There was great debate between the administration and this committee and the Congress. And I think today we're going to hear of the program's approval to enter into the full-scale development as some of us had envisioned. This is indeed a significant accomplishment, even in the midst of major challenges, especially those related to constrained budgets. Very often, Congress has been supportive of SLS Orion and has appropriated funding above the President's request, as the Chairman has indicated. I don't know that I necessarily share the Chairman's view about where all the faults lie. However, the programs have been challenged by the flat funding levels provided for SLS and Orion over the past years, a situation that departs significantly from the typical funding growth profiles of major development programs. And that's why we've recognized the critical need to authorize a robust top-line funding level for NASA in the 2013 Democratic NASA authorization bill that included healthy increases for the exploration program. The National Academies Committee, in fact, recently released its report on human space exploration and also recognized that sending humans to the surface of Mars would include and require sustained increases. They said, and I quote, "Increasing NASA's budget to allow increasing the human spaceflight budget by 5% per year would enable pathways with potentially viable mission rates, greatly reducing technical, cost, and schedule risk." End quote. And so, Mr. Chairman, we can work together to overcome these challenges. And as we work over this next Congress to reauthorize NASA, I look forward to working with you to ensure that this committee authorizes the appropriations that the SLS and Orion programs require to achieve the expeditious development and testing of these vehicles for their use at the earliest possible date, and that we obtain a human exploration roadmap to focus the SLS and Orion systems on long-term mission goals. And because when I see the excitement of the EFT-1 test flight as demonstrated by the flight's coverage as a leading media story. I think, in fact, it did lead the broadcast news. I'm reminded that the SLS and Orion programs really do belong to the American public, and that they will, in fact, embrace them. We need to honor this thirst for exploration. And finally, though the 113th Congress is rapidly drawing to a close, I encourage our colleagues in the Senate to seek quick passage of the House-passed NASA Authorization Act of 2014, and so that NASA and its industry contractors, all of them, have the direction and stability needed to plan for continued progress. And then finally, I will just reiterate what I have said many times before, and that is we cannot have one set of goals for NASA and for our human exploration programs and then not match those goals with the resources that are required to commit to the work on a timely basis. It's unfair to the agency. It's unfair to contractors, and it is a false expectation for the public. And with that, I yield back, and I look forward to hearing the testimony today.